All right. Thank you for joining us today for this live session of new Agentic AI capabilities, a live demo of our self-driving AI SIEM with our CTO. We know your time is valuable and we appreciate your attendance and hope that you're able to take away some new useful information. My name is Chris Shields. I head up product marketing here at Gurucul, and I will be moderating today's live session. A few quick housekeeping notes before we get started. Please ask questions throughout the session. You can type them in the box below the window. You can submit questions anytime, and we will definitely have some time at the end to answer your questions live. Usually within 24 to 48 hours, you'll get a recording of the session for future viewing. And then lastly, sometimes BrightTalk defaults to 480p. So if your resolution looks a little off, you can click the settings button also below on the right side of the screen to adjust your resolution. Oh, lost somebody. Okay, sorry about that. Now I would like to introduce our panelists. Nilesh Dharanj, Chief Technology Officer. He is responsible for development and execution of our technology vision. He brings a wealth of experience in inventing, designing, and building software all the way from inception through release. Nilesh has been a technologist and leader at 3 startups and one of the largest software development companies in the world. We're also joined by Dave Croto, one of our senior solution architects, who is having some bandwidth issues today, so he's off camera. But he has over 20 years of experience in the cybersecurity industry and previously worked at companies like Splunk, Symantec, and Exabeam. And then last but not least, Steve Holmes, Senior Product Manager, specializing in advanced cybersecurity solutions powered by AI and machine learning with over 20 years of experience in the IT and cybersecurity fields. Focusing on areas such as threat detection, identity analytics, and SIEM technologies. All right, looks like we got the slides working. So with that, I'll turn it over to Steve to kick us off. Steve, can you hear me?
My bad.
All right, you're good.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for that introduction. It's great to be here with everyone. Our valued cybersecurity analyst. Today, we're going to go through, and there we go. And so today, we're going to go through and explain what we've done here at Gurucul that's going to impact the SOCs around the world. From past history, I have sat and watched the screen, as many of you have already done or are doing today. And one of the biggest challenges I've noticed, even in my past experience and continuing forward into being a product manager and working here at Gurucul and other companies in previous roles, is false positives and the time we spend actually processing them. When I was an analyst, that was probably 70% of my day. And not only that, that was several hundred alerts. So you can imagine how that impacts the thousands of hours over a course of a year, or days and times of multiple team members, that this really adds up. It's disheartening to the analyst. It is painful to do and just a bore, to be honest, when you're looking for critical threats and chasing all of this. It is literally a pattern for burnout. You miss the critical alerts, you're burnt out, you're chasing a needle in a haystack. And that haystack is always changing, not only in shape and size, but it is constantly changing, which leads us to the fact that yesterday I seen news from Kevin Mandia predicting that the AI agent-based attacks are a year away. That's not at all accurate. The hard truth is 40% of all attacks today are actually carried out in some form or fashion by AI. These AIs are not only carrying out the attacks, they're changing the attacks as they happen. So imagine a cybersecurity and advanced persistent threat actor. These guys break into your system. They're in the system for months. And then while they're at it, every so often they're changing the profile of their attack and the way they're in your system. So not only is this compounding the sophistication of the attacks and leading to longer time spent trying to find them, but it leads to an ultimately a slow response. Back when I was an analyst, that was 180 days, half a year, to respond, locate, and contain. And that was what we averaged at the SOC I was working at that time, and what I had heard from coworkers in different SOCs around the world. But today, that time frame's almost double. We're talking 258 days just for detection. Never mind the fact that you're going to spend another 80 to 90 days in containment. You're well over a year at that point. And that's not counting the fact that my previous statement that your AI is now enabling these bad actors to change their tactics on you in the middle of an attack, meaning you literally could just be chasing a rabbit that's running around in its burrow and you don't have no clue of how to actually get it. So here to tell you what's going to happen and how we're enabling our SOC teams here at Gurucul and are enabling our customers to combat these challenges is Nilesh.
Thank you, Steve, and a warm welcome to everyone joining us today. It's really a privilege to discuss a transformative approach to cybersecurity. It's one thing to talk about AI, and it's another to see it actively driving some security outcomes, and that's our focus for our talk and our demo today. Let's talk about self-driving AI SIEM.
Steve, go forward one slide. Sorry, I think your slides might be out of order. No, you have the old deck. Okay. Yeah, just go back, I guess, Nilesh. Is that? Yeah.
Chris, why don't you work on switching the slide?
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about self-driving SIEM here at AI SIEM at Gurucul, we are essentially describing a security operations model that's characterized by intelligent automation at its core. It's about establishing proactive and predictive defense posture, which is designed from ground up. So think of the advancements in self-driving cars. All the advancements in self-driving cars. The goal is not just automation for its own sake. It's about enhancing safety. It's about improving reliability, and really allowing the driver, in our case, the security analyst, to oversee the system and intervene strategically. This analogy also highlights our commitment to integrity and transparency. Our AI is designed to be understandable. It's designed to be transparent and trustworthy, and not really a black box. And you'll see some of those elements in our demo today. So these are some of the core principles of our self-driving SIEM. Chris, were we able to bring up the slide?
Sorry, I've almost got it.
Okay. So the first core principle is AI-powered SOC automation. Now, this is where the magic truly begins. So imagine an AI SOC analyst working tirelessly alongside your team. We are talking about automating the full life cycle, right from data analysis to detection, investigation, and response. With a sophistication that goes beyond simple scripting. This is where our Agentic AI framework, it acts as a force multiplier, handling a lot of the heavy lifting, so your team can focus on the strategic initiatives. The other key guiding principle is around proactive and predictive defense. So our platform has been designed to shift you from a reactive stance to a proactive one. We leverage predictive analytics, advanced behavior modeling to anticipate, predict, and preempt threats before they can impact your organization. Overall, as a platform, our roots and genesis of our company and platform has been into machine learning and AI from the get go. Right from building the very first UEBA, to our current self-driving AI sim. So behavior modeling and analytics is key to our platform. The next major principle I would like to highlight is continuous adaptive learning and self-optimization. So the threat landscape is never static, as we all know, and neither is our SIM. It's really built for adaptive learning. It's continuously evolving and refining its understanding, based on your unique environment, based on analyst feedback, and the ever-changing global threat landscape. Our self-driving AI sim, it includes elements of self-healing, where the system is intelligently tuning its own models, responses to really enhance the accuracy and drastically reduce false positives over time. Another core principle, on foundational principle for us is to provide radical clarity and really unified visibility. Our analysts, our SOC analysts, are really drowning in alerts today, and they're also struggling with siloed tools. Everyone is talking about bringing in some sort of a data lake or what have you. So it's really challenging to provide that unified visibility. And this is where our platform helps. It cuts through that noise to really provide clarity by delivering a contextualized, risk prioritized view of true threats from a unified security analytics platform. This means that the team and the analysts are spending less time chasing those and more time neutralizing the genuine risks within your organization. One other key aspect, and again, and that's why we brought up that analogy with self-driving sim. The driver, in our case, like I said, the analyst is overseeing the system and really intervening at strategic points, right? And that's what we are trying to achieve with this whole human-machine teaming, right? We are passionate about empowering your human analysts and not really replacing them. So our self-driving AI sim augments their experience, really transforming them from alert fatigued responders to highly effective strategic thinkers and proactive threat hunters. So the AI handles the mundane, whereas your experts can handle really the mission critical and strategic threats within your enterprise. And last but not the least, which is again one of the core fundamental principles of our platform from the get-go, is an open, flexible, and an integrated ecosystem. So all of this power that I talked about, across some of these core principles, it's built on an open and a flexible platform. We believe in seamless integration with your existing security investments, any data lakes, any data source, and really empowering you to master that data, without any vendor lock-in. Our AI sim platform, provides you with that powerful, intuitive AI-driven tools directly into the hands of your analysts and your teams, and it helps you control the costs and realize the tangible value fairly quickly. So this overall vision and principles that I just talked about, they are built into the very DNA of our platform, of our self-driving AI sim platform. And the way we achieve this is by really unleashing an army of AI agents, that's orchestrated by our SME AI director agent, as you could see on the slide here. So really, the SME AI director agent is sort of like the main agent. SME AI is subject matter AI, expert AI, which is our Gen AI, Agentic AI engine. And essentially what it does, it orchestrates various different agents across the entire threat detection, investigations, and response lifecycle. Right? So we got various different worker agents. The first one being the data pipeline agent. The data pipeline AI agent, it really minimizes the need for any manual onboarding and fine tuning of your data. So within our self-driving AI scene, all you need to do is just hook up the the data source from where we are going to collect the data, and the AI agent does the rest for you. Right, that includes any data discovery, classification, normalization, enrichment, filtering. Right, so all of that is done by the AI agent. It automatically creates any or fine tunes any data pipelines for you. It does the the overall normalization, and all of this is purpose built within our platform, because that's linked to our various different threat models and use cases within the platform. The next up is our detection engineering agents. So these are different agents that really detect the evolving attack chains, to inform any new ML detection-based models, any new signatures or rules, as well as it optimizes your existing models and rules as well, right? So it does a combination of both, and it recommends any new data sources as well, right? So if there are any additional data attributes or what have you that you need from your data set, it proactively communicates that with data pipeline agents, so those get normalized, and you have advanced adaptive models that are built or fine tuned on the fly to help with some of these advanced emerging threats as well. Right? Next one is our analyst experience agents. So these are the agents that that help your SOC analysts, to help them do the to do the mundane. All right, so all your sort of L1 tasks are handled through these analyst agents. And what these agents do, it empowers your analysts with auto triaged alerts. We provide expert guidance, even natural language search, and enriched insights into any specific alert, incident, or just overall data within your environment, right? It also provides you with details around your attack blast radius. It does the automated mapping to MITRE attack framework, for which we have close to a 98% coverage, as well as does external and internal threat intel lookups. So a lot of your L1 based tasks are achieved through these agents. Right? Like I talked about earlier, with our one of our core principles, adaptive learning is used heavily here, because what these agents do, it refines the insights as well as the actions that are taken on the basis of the feedback that they receive through human analysts, as well as all the external vectors that it is analyzing as well. And then last but not the least is our adaptive response agents. So these agents are focused purely on response. In real time, it dynamically modifies and executes any of our current response playbooks or actions based on real time information that it receives, based on evolving threat conditions. And really, it has a unique understanding of each and every attack or incident within our within our platform, right? So you're not just looking at at just running it at a different playbooks level, but it can run or perform prescriptive actions, be it across multiple different scenarios or what have you. Right? So all in all of this is orchestrated through our SME AI director agents, and this is how we achieve our self-driving AI initiative within within Gurucul. Right? I know here, I mean, we talked a lot about the principles and AI agents. Now let's dive in and see all of this in action within our platform. So over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Nilesh. Let me share my screen. Everybody should be able to see my screen there. Hi, everyone, and thank you very much. As Nilesh pointed out, I will bring you through the Gurucul's self-driving sim, where we use ML and AI to visualize the real-time holistic state of your environment. So for much of the, for for the much needed rapid feedback and analyst reports that you do get out of the box here. We do have the dashboards, as you can see in front of you. You can use the out-of-the-box ones, or you can customize your own. So each dashboard is a low-code, no-code landing page for an analyst, a group of analysts, or even executives. You can wrap role-based access around them so that when someone logs in, they get their view of the world, and it's really the customized landing page for the cases and investigations that they happen to be working on. Up at the top here, we have these single values that really show the total events, alerts, and risky alerts and notable incidents here, kind of an at-a-glance view. And you can notice here, as you can see, how we address the alert fatigue, going from 60,000 events down to 10 incidents, obviously taking on all of that raw data, refining it using AI and ML to come down and wrap it around your organization and create just 10 workable incidents for your analysts to do. And really that addresses the flood of those raw events into manageable alerts for you to work on. A notable incident in our platform is a collection of alerts, of course, and that have accumulated a risk score over 85 based upon the alerts and outlier behavior for each entity and asset in our environment here. So then the notable incidents are then added to your incident response workflow, integrated with your trouble ticketing solution and tracked as a case. As you can see here, we have a number of different widgets here that, views of panels and notable instances and other key metrics that you can use to identify a breakdown or at least break down the notable alerts within your environment. As we go forward here, you can kind of start seeing some of these, the key things that we're able to do in terms of identifying, showing the notable risky users and risky assets is the core of what we do, including having AI establish what is indeed a risky user or a risky asset in our environment. Each shows, a cyber risk score accumulated for each one. We accumulate risk from 0 to 100 for assets and users in the environment here. And then in the end, we have this enterprise alerts and a breakdown of the enterprise alerts over the last 24 hours here, including and as we scroll down here, we include the MITRE attack matrix, where we're actually showing your maturity level in terms of the MITRE attack and any sort of the TTPs have been flagged in the wild as we're viewing the environment here. If I scroll down or drill down into the enterprise alerts here, we're greeted with the alert management page. And what that does is it gives us the latest alerts showing the various statistics like detection dates, description, severity, and the affected entity, whether it's a user or an asset. Pretty simple to understand. You can certainly go through and start looking at the different status of all of the incidents in your environment here. It's an at-a-glance view, and you can use this to kind of go through and schedule down and provision what it is exactly that you want to see in terms of the active alerts in real time. Over on the right-hand side is where the SME AI and that Agentic AI that Nilesh was talking about determines the spread of a specific event here. AI learns and adapts in creating meaningful, notable cases, ensuring that your team isn't just chasing ghosts out there. As you can kind of see here, we go through on the right-hand side here. As you can see, we have this unsupervised AI action called Responder AI, taking that, the events within your environment, the alerts within your environment, and doing some auto response capabilities so that it can't flood your analyst with actions that they need to take to remediate specific threats in their environment here. And then on the furthest right-hand side, it determines a blast radius or an impact radius for all of the machines that are similarly involved with this specific threat in your environment here. So now what I'm able to do is I'm able to go through and drill down into each one of these. And I won't spend a lot of time just going through each one of these. But as you can see, what the Agentic AI is actually created for you is a number of recommendations, conclusions, next steps. And as you kind of scroll down here, you can kind of see all of the statistics that are gathered, the device analysis, the recent activity analysis is an impacted environments, as you can see. I won't go through each of these here, but you can see this is the type of model detection, analyst finding that you could expect from AI, the Agentic AI, returning to the analysts so that they can use it. So without getting into the details, SME detected here in this specific alert that detected account compromises across 13,000 anomalous transactions and an unauthorized use of a service account, linked to either Office 365 or Azure AD by an account that's an admin. So you see these high risk anomalies, and we're correlating together unusual authenticate attempts, privileged escalation within this one alert here, and we're cross-referencing that with the rare Microsoft Defender alerts here and giving that user a leg up on, or that analyst a leg up on what's going on within the environment itself here.
Sorry, I was just going to add that this is where we talked about explainable AI, right? So it's not really a black box. In this particular case, as Dave pointed out, it was a low risk alert which got auto triaged and closed. But it's also providing you with all the details in terms of what are some of the insights which led to the alert, this alert's overall risk score, as well as the action that was taken, right? So in case if a SOC analyst needs to investigate this further, he or she has the option to do that. If not, then our AI framework has already triaged this and taken appropriate action as well.
Thank you. So the responder AI, again, to Nilesh's point, is a automated action that has been taking place, and you can create your own actions here. But you can kind of see here, based on the feedback that we're getting, we're going through and we're running this automated transaction here. The responder AI is taking all of these different steps to remediate this threat in the environment here. So there's a number of other things that we're able to do within the actual event itself. We can go through and again look at all of the events and all of the details associated with that. We can also go into the MITRE attack framework here, and we can see here that specific alert has mapped to the active scanning, and you can see here where we can kind of get the view here. I consider MITRE the Rosetta Stone for all threat detection and mitigation. I mean, it really does take a universal approach to merging of all of the TTPs and what to do about them, the response strategies that you want to take or at least use within your environment, again, to give that analyst a leg up on what it is that they're actually creating, or what it is that they're doing, and what it is that they're attempting to research on. So as we go back into the actual alerts here, as we drill up, actually incidences, as we go back into the dashboard here, I'll drive down and go at it this way and drive into the clarification. You also have the ability to go in and look at all of the raw events in one location that have culminated together to actually give you or alert on that specific device or user within your environment here. So to extend your threat hunt, you have the ability and extend your response strategies here. You have the ability to go deeper into the environment and start looking at the raw events and get really, really granular into what it is that you're looking for. And what it did was it actually created, based on where I was, it created the search query for me. I can look at all of the information here. I can drill down into the raw event here, look at the different fields. I could update the table. I could show fields in this tabular view. I can even go in and change the alert here if I want to. The other thing that I'm able to do is I'm actually able to use natural language search here as well. So if I decide I want to go through and just use, instead of using our SQL-like query-based language, I can come in here and I can just, and I'm not going to show that, I'm not going to actually type this in here. I can show the latest events for one individual, one user, or one identity in my environments from specific time frame, and run that. And what it will do is actually come back and give you the opportunity. This is the natural language search that you have here, again, addressing the training involved with understanding, a new query language. Using natural language kind of gives you that ability to extend the use and start asking your data questions here. And as you can kind of see here, we have a number of different, the same raw events that have come out here, and you can kind of do the same sort of action that you took earlier and look at the raw events, look at the search and all of the information that you want to look for, along with the categories and other sort of contextual data that feeds into our SIEM based on the pipelines associated with that. And those can be stressors for given employees that include insider threat. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. So here, this gives you the ability, again, to kind of drill down, use both our natural language search and also our query language to, go in and look at all of the events within your environment here as well. So now I can use things because I have all of that, well, let me actually go through back here. I can use this to go in and now that I have all of this contextual information, I can go to a specific user's profile and switch over to that specific user's profile as part of my investigation here. And as you can kind of see, you're greeted with this risk profile, this horizontal timeline with all of the latest anomalies that have been created for this specific user. Up here, you have a visual timeline if you decide you want to stretch out or actually pull in space and time the specific anomalies associated with a person or timeline associated with a given identity in your environment. You can do that here as well. The way we're doing that under the hood is we're adjusting or at least grouping a user like Ken Winston here, along with his peers, his resources, and his accounts. So if Ken Winston logs off as one user and logs on as another user, we'll be able to track him on that holistic timeline that I showed you earlier. We can extend the type of details that we have for Ken Winston here, including the general details that you don't typically glean out of a firewall log or an EDR. You typically get it from the identity layer, or even you get more contextual information from like an HR system, like a Workday or whatever it happens to be. We can take in all of that data and associate it with this specific individual, and we can also mask this data out so that that data privacy analyst or that SOC analyst working a specific case on Ken Winston doesn't necessarily see PII information about Ken, like for instance his home address. That all of that, each one of these attributes, these general details, can be masked based on role-based access control and hidden from the user. However, we will use that data to create things like, for instance, his peer groupings here. So if we go back to Ken Winston's timeline, again, you can see that he's part of two watch lists here. He's got a high risk score, 10 anomalies, and 2 incidents loaded here. Again, this is talking about 10 anomalies here, distilled down to only 10 workable, notable incidents that analyst needs to address within your environment here. And if I mouse over each one of these, I can see the anomalies. But really, this is an at-a-glance view. Where I'm going to spend most of my time is down here in this vertical timeline here. Let me actually go through and change this date, give you a little bit more information about our friend Ken here, and go through and add more information to 3.8 and really pull out his timeline here. And as we go up for the details here, we can see where he's accumulated such a high risk score, right? Down at the bottom, we use Cisco. We're processing through machine learning the Cisco proxy devices, and each one of these anomalies represents a machine learning model on the back end that's either learning or passing an arbitrary alert type threshold. But you can see here from a Cisco proxy standpoint, we notice that he's has some unusual job sites that he's going to during regular working hours. We also see that there's a collection of sensitive information that he's started to become interested in, start looking at here. And we can visualize that if we're the analyst. We can drill down into it. We can see all of the applications that he's accessed here, the branch number, and all of the analytical data. Again, we can, either from a case standpoint, we can respond to a case, we can add comments to it. We can close it as risk managed, meaning we have enough tribal knowledge to know that this is indeed a false positive. Or if we don't have that tribal knowledge, we can schedule a model review and collaborate with the other members on the team to say, hey, this model needs to be adjusted and to accurately depict what is real within our environment here. I can view that as well, so I can actually create a visualization to really give that analyst a leg up, help him punch above his weight class to understand exactly where that spike took place for that specific individual, looking at accessing customer portfolio data. And as we kind of go up the view here, we start seeing, again, CrowdStrike saying that there's some detections of data compression taking place here from a zip file perspective. Again, each one of these anomalies are detected, we're accumulating more risk score for this specific individual here. And again, if you decide you want to drill down into each one of these, you can either respond to that like we showed you earlier, or I can take the opportunity to go back into all of the raw events that created that specific anomaly within our organization. So again, it gives you a holistic view of the event. I like, again, being an old analyst, it's a kind of a trust but verify. So you also want to make sure that as machine learning does its thing, you also have the capability to go in and make sure that the from a raw event perspective, all of the events are in line with what the anomaly is actually telling you within the environment itself.
And as Dave showed on the timeline there, so those are the detections that are created or flagged through our detection engineering agents. So they automatically update any model details or configs as needed, and it gets flagged and shows on the timeline there. And then real quick, this is this is where you see sort of that one-stop shop interface, to provide you with complete visibility, like Dave pointed out earlier. Now through this interface, you're able to see all data that gets processed through our data pipeline agents, that are normalized and linked here to show you really that 360-degree view, right? So you're able to view all the details, right from device details to any log details or what have you, threat intel information, vulnerability scans, you name it, right? All of that information, all of those data sources, are linked in here through this interface.
Some other things that we're able to do, thank you very much, Nilesh, for that. Some other things that we're able to do is off of this view, go through and we can also execute a playbook. We can, for all intents and purposes, build and take away from the search based on these key attributes here. If I only want to look at a specific branch within my search query, I can just click here and say I only want to look at a certain branch of the data coming in that represents the data, and I'll get only the views there. And you can notice that that's actually added the branch number into the search itself to kind of hone in and only show you or pivot on the specific information you need. A user could indeed know enough about our search query language to go in and type each one of these functions or variables within the environment here. However, we do give you a way to point and click and build out the search query that you want in your environment. And then you can load existing queries. Now, every week, Gurucul, based on their threat intel, will provide its customers new search queries so that they can retrospectively go back and see if there are any, like for instance, matching IOCs for any sort of newer threats out there, like 0 days. We can save a specific search. We can save it as an alert. So if I decide I want to set an arbitrary threshold, I can do that. I can also build a visualization within this. There's only one event here, so it really won't show much, but you could build a visualization on your search and create and save it as a widget and put it onto your dashboard, your customized dashboard, or create a report for another analyst on the team or an executive on the team to look at here. The last thing I want to show is our SME AI chatbot, if you will. We call it Copilot. So this gives you the ability to do a number of things, like, for instance, go in and generate a threat report, or show the top list of activities from outside the United States. And again, it's another way of interacting with the with AI and how the large language models in the background are actually creating queries for us in the back end, and giving you all of the information without having to know all of the query details about our query language, which is very SQL based, if you will. So give that a second. I can also create, those views, and it'll create the holistic report from all of the activity outside the United States. I can then push that to, generate a report for any sort of management that needs to look at something like that. I can also go through and, using that SME AI, kind of come in as well and look at, and create threat reports for specific individuals, like our friend Ken Winston that we were looking at earlier, and then give you the ability to download that threat report in the environment here as well. So generate that threat report and either email it, make it part of the information that you keep with a specific case as you're going through the process to remediate that specific workflow or incident response case within your environment here. So I am going to stop there and see if we have any other questions, and see if there's anything else that we can show you within the self-driving sim.